So that's great. If you all have dataset, I could see some responses in the chat by now. And now I'll share my screen with all of you so that we can proceed further. So I have also shared another link on your WhatsApp group, that is code share link. This window you will be able to open on your screen also. If you click on that link, you can open it on your laptop or computer, wherever you are working directly there, you can open it up. So I'll be sharing all the codes on this window side by side as I work here, because many of you may not be able to type fast since we have limited time in this session. So I'll be doing live coding on my side. I'll be explaining every part of the code that I'll write. And side by side, I'll be sharing those codes on this window so that all of you can get it actively and you can execute it on your side also. And later on, you can do enhanced practice with those codes as well. So try to listen to all the parts that I discuss while typing codes. Don't rush to type on your side also. Just try to listen first, try to understand what we are trying to do. And all small versions of the codes I'll be sharing one by one into this code share window. And there is a humble request to all of you. Please do not write anything on this window, and do not cut or delete any code from this window, because this will be a common window shared among all the participants. So if you write something here or you try to delete or cut something from here, that part will be lost for all the audience. So you can just copy things from here and paste it somewhere on your sheets, but do not delete anything from this window, so that it stays a convenient option for all the participants to share and handle codes during the session. Now, coming to the platform that we'll be using for the implementation for the hands-on sessions in the remaining days of this workshop, we'll be talking about Google Colab platform for that. As I told you on the first day of this workshop also, that there are generally plenty of options that you can try for implementing Python codes. In this session, we'll be working with Google Colab platform, which is a cloud interface where you can do Python programming easily. So how you can reach there, first of all, you can simply type here Google Collaboratory or Google Colab like this. On anywhere on your browser, whichever browser you are using, you can just type Google Collaboratory or Google Colab, and it will take you to the official website. You can observe here, this is official website from Google itself. And you can click on this and it will open up a window that is linked specifically to this cloud version of the software. All of you can follow the steps side by side and confirm me in the chat box when you are able to execute these so that I can make sure that it is working fine on your side. You just need to reach to this Google Colab window. I can share this link in the chat box also here. If anyone is not able to find it directly, you can just click on it and you can reach to the home page here. The next thing you have to do is log into this platform using your Gmail account. You can observe here on the top right corner. In my case, I have my login already here. If you are working from your personal computer or your own laptop, then chances are that this login may be already there, because it will automatically connect with your Gmail account if that is logged into your browser. But if it is showing you a sign-in option, then you have to insert your Google account or Gmail account credentials so that it can link you to your Gmail account directly, so that whatever codes you write, they will be saved directly in your Drive window. So you can quickly confirm me if you have signed in into this particular platform so that I can guide you further. Let me know in the chat box if you are ready with the sign in on Google Colab. I can see some responses. Thank you very much for quick update. So after sign in, the next process you have to follow is we need to open a specific coding sheet on this platform. And how you can do that? Just go to the file option available on top left corner and then click on new notebook in Drive. Once you have logged into your Gmail account, it will give you option to open notebook in your Drive directly. So you can click on this and it will open a new window. That will be basically our coding sheet on which we'll be working further. And now we can close this previous sheet because we don't need this any further. We can close this one and we can keep the newly created one only. The home page window you can now close. So this kind of window all of you might have opened on your screen now. And the very first thing you need to do here is just rename this window. You may have something like this on your screen right now, untitled 0.ipynb. So you just have to rename this portion with any required project name that you can do. Like we can write here day 3 of workshop, or whatever name you want to give to your file, you can do that accordingly. You can keep this extension as it is. Just before this dot, you can update your file name. So this way we can organize our this notebook on Drive so that whenever in future you want to access it with the same name, you will be able to access it. So whatever name you want to give, that is your choice. Now let us get little friendly with the platform here. You can observe that we have different control options available. You need not to mess with so many details here. We'll just take it very simple. We have a plus code and plus text option available on your screen that will help you to insert a new code cell and text cell on this platform. Observe this very carefully. Whenever I'll write some instructions, some headings, or some textual summaries, I can use text cell at that time. I can just click on plus text and it will be inserted here. And we can locate it anywhere. Like I can use these up down cells to move it up and down. And it will appear something like this. If you double click on this, it will appear something like this, and you can write any text over here, any instructions, any headings, etc. For that reference, we can use text cells. The other thing you have is code cell. You can have code cells with a play button in front of them, and the actual syntax we will write within this code cells. That will be a executable Python syntax that we can do for all the codings that will be handling on this project. Let me know if you are friendly with this environment first, then we'll start with process further. If I need to repeat any part, then also you can let me know. I hope everyone is good up to this. So we can start with the first step. How to undo means if you want to remove any of these cells, then you have this delete cell option. You just have to click on that particular cell that you want to remove, and you can click on this. It will delete those cells immediately. This way you can organize your cells easily. I hope this is what you need to know. Okay, great. So now let us start with the very first step on the platform. As I told you in the beginning also that we'll be using Python programming for conducting various hands-on case studies in this workshop. So the biggest benefit of using Python programming for AI and data science, etc., is that it offers you a huge set of libraries. There is a large collection of libraries within which you have several algorithms already defined, several methods and functions are already there. You can just call them as per your requirement. There is no need to code everything from the scratch. So this is a open source programming language. You can find a huge support for Python programming on forums online. So this makes it a easier to understand language for any beginner, and that is the main reason why we are following Python programming in this workshop also, so that those who are planning to do some interdisciplinary work, they can have a easy to handle programming language to proceed with their projects further. So let us do the very first step here. In the text cell, I'm putting here the first step that we need. That will be to import necessary libraries. Those who have attended the previous level of our this course series, they might be aware about few essential libraries that we have used last time also. We did detailed data visualization, statistical analysis at that time. So there are few set libraries that as a beginner you may need to understand. I'll be using them one by one here. Even if you are using it for the first time, I'll explain everything in detail. So first understand which codes I'm writing here, what each syntax mean, and after executing it, I'll be sharing this code with all of you. So observe here first, I'm importing a library called NumPy, that is to handle with the numerical manipulations in your data, handling your arrays, matrices, and vectors, etc. We use NumPy library. And here, NumPy I'm using with the nickname NP. Whenever we call libraries in Python, for ease of programming, we give them some nicknames. So the first library is NumPy that I'm calling, and I'm giving it a name, NP. Similarly, we can have another library. I'll call it Pandas library, and a nickname I'll give is PD. So this Pandas library help us to handle different formats of data like CSV files, text files, or many other versions of data that you may have in real world. They can be handled easily with Pandas, and it also assists in variety of data manipulation tasks also. So each library basically has thousands of functions inside or methods inside, but currently we are using them for some limited operations here, depending upon the time available. Later on, you will be able to explore a very extended range of functions as you progress with your Python programming journey further. One more library I'm putting next is matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. And then next one I'm putting is Seaborn as SNS. These two libraries we prefer for plotting task in Python. They have a very large range of charts and graphs that can be created easily on different variables of your data. Matplotlib generally has some basic kind of operations possibilities, and Seaborn is used for advanced plotting tasks. However, they also have many common functions that exist in both libraries. So currently, I'm loading these four libraries that I can utilize for doing my remaining operations further. So once I have written all these codes, I have loaded all the libraries with some nicknames, I'll just hit this play button in front of code cell so that this particular syntax sequence can be executed. And after execution only, these libraries will be ready to use on our platform. So let me just check matplot. Okay, I have one typo here. This is matplotlib. I'll run this again. And you can see I got a green tick mark here. All of you should get this kind of green tick mark whenever you execute any code. It will ensure that there is no error in your code. So this is the very first set of code that I have executed, and I'll be sharing it with all of you. So very first set I'm putting here, import necessary libraries, and you just can execute this portion. Do this and let me know if you are getting green tick mark for your first set, and if it is clear that what we are doing up to this, then we will move to next step. You can take your code from here itself. I'll wait for responses in the chat box if it is working fine. Okay, great. I hope others are also able to do the same. The next step I'm following here is to load the dataset, and the data file I have already shared with all of you. Like if I open it up here, I have shared this mental health dataset with all of you. I'm just opening it up. Okay, tell me what error you are getting. If there is any error, you can just copy name of that error and let me know what it is. Syntax error. See, the problem is with your this first line. I told you that you have to put this in text file. Observe, this is in text cell. This is not in code cell right now. You have to put this thing in the text cell. It should not be in the code cell. Only this thing you have to put in your code cell. These sections only. And module not found error you are getting. This may be something like any spelling mistake might be there. If you are writing it exactly same that I have shared here, then you will definitely not get any module not found error. If there is a spelling mistake, then only you will get it. And if you are not using this portion, observe there are two ways to handle this. I have given this instruction to you. This is currently in text cell, not in code cell. First thing, if you are putting it in code cell, something like this, you will get an error. First thing, if you want to keep still it here, then use a hash in front of it. Use a hash in front of it. That is why I have also placed a hash in front of it here also, because I know that many of you will copy it all together and put it in the code cell. That is why I kept a hash in front of it. So this hash will ensure that this is a comment only. This doesn't appear like a code, just a comment it will appear, and only these will be executed. Check this again, rerun it, and let me know if you get the green tick after this. If there are still any error, you can still let me know. I can help. I'll wait for responses in the chat box. On which step you are stuck, ma'am? Please let me know so that from there I can repeat again. Currently, I have just shared one set of code that you have to put in your code cell. How to run from the text. Okay, everyone, just look at your screen. You do not run anything on the text part. Note that. This is just a heading. You cannot run a text cell, first thing. You insert your text cell from this plus sign on the top. When you click on this, you will get something like this, and this is just a document cell. You do not write any Python code into this. You can move it up and down from here, and you can also delete it. So this is a text cell. You do not write any code in a text cell. Then this second one, a cell in front of which you have this play button or a number, something like this. This can be any number depending upon how many times you have run a cell. A code cell will have a play button in front of it and something like this. You can observe a scare box. That is basically the execution sequence. It keeps on count. That is your code cell. You can run your code only in a code cell, not in a text cell. Always keep that in mind. So this code cell you need to use to write this section that I have shared here also. Just copy this and put this in a code cell and then click on this play button. When you click on this play button, you should get this green tick if it is error free. These portions will be executed since they are executable Python codes. This portion, because I have placed a hash in front of it, it is a comment. It will not be executed because this is just a reference comment when a hash is placed in front of it. And this you have nothing to do. You can just put it as it is. This is for reference only. You are not executing anything from here. This is just a step one I have written, that you are first importing necessary libraries only. Now let me know if this is clear. All of you need to organize your files in text and code cells for easy understanding. That is why I'm putting those text-based markers one by one, so that in future also, if you take a reference from these files, you will at least have this thing as a marker. What is not working? Can you please let me know which part is not working? Can you please share your screen? I have just stopped sharing screen. Uh, please share your screen so that I can see what is the problem on your side. Kindly share your screen. So this is working, ma'am. What else you want to work in this? I'm telling right from the beginning that you need a green tick in front of your cell, and you already have a green tick in front of it. What else you want to see working?
No, I thought the steps will come down. Sorry.
If it is coming blank, kindly refresh your tab because it is already here. It is still, the code is still on the code share window. Okay, so coming to the next step, I wrote here that in the second step, we'll be loading dataset. Again, I'm putting this in the text cell, not in the code cell. So I'm sharing my screen again first. Yeah. So I have written here load dataset, and below this in a code cell, I'm again placing few set of syntaxes that we will use to load the dataset. And first, let me show you the dataset that I have shared with all of you. This file I have shared, this is a synthetic dataset on mental health. So since majority of you are already from the medical background, you might be aware about these kinds of variables. These are just some patient conditions that are reported here that are further leading to presence of mental health risk, or like high, medium or low risk category they have divided here. In yesterday's session, you might have gone through the classification and regression modeling. And from there, you already know that you can have continuous variables and class type variables. So this particular data set comes with this objective to check if the person is on high, medium or low mental health risk. So that kind of analysis is possible here. In today's analysis, we'll be using this data file for feature engineering and data transformation. Like you can see currently, many of these features are available in alphabetical sequence. Many of them are in the form of numbers. So we will just try to execute some operations on these variables, and I'll show you some easy ways to handle different variables in your data. We will consider some hypothetical conditions like transforming one variable from one form to other form, or doing interaction between multiple variables for achieving certain kind of decision. So that kind of analysis one by one we'll try to do on this. We are not going to do any classification or regression modeling today. That we will do from tomorrow onwards. Today we are just going to play with the data, and we will do some feature engineering, and we will try to transform some variables to some other version. So one by one, that analysis we will try to do. I'm closing this CSV file, and we will just load it here on the platform now. Observe this carefully on your screen, how you get your data set on here. So first of all, in this process, I need to declare a data variable in which I'll be storing my data file, and I'll take help from pandas with read underscore CSV function. And inside this, I'll place path of my data. So currently, the data file that all of you might have downloaded, you must have kept it somewhere on your laptop or computer, maybe in a folder or on the desktop, etc. You need to get it from there to this Google Colab platform. And how you can do that, observe very carefully on your screen. You just have to click on this files option available on the left side menu of your screen. Observe here, below this key, you have a files option. Do not click anywhere else, because there are plenty of options on the platform and you may be lost in the platform in that case. Just click on this files option and then wait. You will have this portion activated slide shortly. This files section will get activated and it will appear something like this. There are some sample data folders and then you have some empty space available. We will try to keep that file, that mental health dataset file, in this section below sample data here, so that we can use it. This is the live storage we have on Google Colab that will be attached to this particular coding sheet right now. So in order to deal with this, what I can do here simply, we will either click on this upload button or we can use drag and drop technique. Both ways it is possible. Using this upload button may be easier, like you can just click on this button and it will allow you to get file from any of your folders. Like for instance, I have it here in my dataset folder, so I can click on this file and open it up. You will get a warning on your screen. Just click OK for that and it will be soon loaded on your platform. You can observe this file right below sample data. How you do that? Just click on this upload button right here. Hover to any of the folders wherever you have kept your dataset. Click on that file, the one I have shared with all of you. Then open it and then for warning, click OK. And soon after that, the file will be here. This is a very small synthetic dataset, so it will not take much time to get loaded here and it will soon be ready. Let me know when you can see your data file on your screens here. If it is available in your notebook, quickly let me know in the chat box, then I'll tell you the next step. Without this dataset available here, you will not be able to execute anything further. Okay, so what you have to do is observe. I'll first remove this so that I can show you from the scratch. Everyone, look at the screen again. If you are confused with how to get data, you were like this on screen first. So first of all, you need to click on the file option available here. Just click on this. On the left side menu, you have files option, this one, not this one, not on the top, but on this left side menu. Click on this and wait for this section to open. A sample data folder, etc. These kind of things will appear. Do not click anywhere further. Just open it and then click on this upload button. Observe this upload button available here. Click on this and it will take you to your system folders. You can choose your dataset wherever you have kept it on your system. The one I have shared in your WhatsApp group, the same dataset you have to load. Click on that dataset and then click on open. And as soon as you click on open, you may get a warning on your screen. Click OK for that warning, and your dataset will be soon uploaded into the session storage. So depending upon how big is your dataset, it will take a little bit of time to load data, and soon it will be available below your sample data portion. Let me know if you all are able to do that. You can observe my data is still loading. It will take a little bit of time and then it will be available here below sample data. You can observe this bottom portion will be gone and your dataset will be available at this point. So once your data file, a CSV file is available here, then we can take its path and we can insert that path in this particular portion. Observe here, what I'll do is how to get path of this file. Look at your screen carefully. Just take your cursor to this data file and right click, and then you can find option to copy path. Take your cursor to this CSV data file, right click, and then from drop down menu, use copy path option, and then place that path here within read CSV function within inverted commas. So this will attach your code sheet to this specific CSV file. And then I can use a head function in Python to display first 5 lines of data. This by default, it will display first 5 lines of data so that at least we can visualize what is contained inside our data file, and we can verify that whatever file we were looking forward to, the same file has arrived on our platform now. So I'll just run this again. Observe, in order to make it work, we need to hit this play button. As soon as we hit this, we will get a green tick and a output associated to this code cell. So we can see the same Excel sheet available on our screen now. Something like this, the same Excel sheet that I have shown you earlier, that is now appearing here. Once it is available, I can close this side portion. Now we don't need this. I'll just close it. And this data file is ready with us. So I'll just share this set of code with all of you. I'll put it here, load data set. And inside this, the syntax I have added. Execute this and let me know if you can see your data variables on your screen like this, if you are able to execute this portion. I'll wait for responses in the chat box. These initial procedures will be same whenever you try to handle any data on Google Colab platform. So in coming case studies also, these initial steps will be followed as it is. So whenever you are learning this point, at least remember step-by-step approach that we are following. Let me know where you are stuck. If I can help you accordingly, let me know which portion you are getting trouble with. Not able to see the data set. Have you uploaded it? This file is ready on your file section. Let me know first. Is this visible on your file section? Okay, this is uploaded. So after that, you just need to run this portion of code. This code only you have to run. What happened with data bracket? I have not used data bracket anywhere. This is data dot head and then brackets. Data brackets directly are not being used anywhere. Check your code carefully. If there is any error, then paste that error. PD is not defined. See, you have not run your previous cell. Do you have green tick in front of this cell? The previous cell, have you run this? Are you getting a green tick in front of it? If previous cell is not executed, then next cell will not be executed. If this is already done, then you will never get an error that you have shared. A name PD is not defined. That is not possible in that case. Make sure you have executed this portion first. If still in trouble, unable to copy and paste code, uh, others can please let me know if you are able to get code from here. Any trouble in copying code from here? Can anyone please let me know if there is any trouble in copying code from this code share window? Mhm. After refreshing also, I can see it here. Let me know if everyone is facing the same trouble. No, no need to log in. This will work free also. There is no need to log in into this platform. This works without login also. Okay, for majority of people, this is working fine. Make sure your internet connection is also okay. Copy paste option is not coming. What option? No, you don't need any option for copy paste. You can just directly select lines, press Control C on your keyboard, and then take it to your window, and then press Control V on your screen directly. That is a shortcut for copy and paste. You don't need any option for that. Here also you will get, if you just copy this and then do right click, then also you will get copy and paste. Both options are there. Let me know where you may be stuck. If anyone wants to share their screen, they can also let me know. I can just stop sharing in that case so that I can solve your trouble in between. Okay, I hope it is working fine. Since I cannot see any further responses in the chat box. Okay, if your data is ready and we can see the variables here, same as I have shown you on the Excel sheet, let us get a quick idea about how many observations we have in this particular data set. That is like a quick intuition we are taking from the data set, that how many observations about patients may be there and how many variables are there. So for that, I'll write here the task, check data info. And as per this task, I'm executing here a info function. In Python, you will see that things are like normal English language. When I have to check information about my dataset, I can directly use a info function. This quickly, I can deploy it here and it will quickly give you a summary about your data. So I'm writing this code also here. Check data info comment I have added, and then I have placed this code below. So this info function gives you multiple things in output. Run this first, then I'll explain what we are getting here in the output. Just get an outcome of this info function first on your screen. So in this outcome, you can observe here one by one what it is telling us. First thing, it is saying a range index available up to 10,000 entries. That means this file contains 10,000 observations. That may be from individual patients also. So it covers information on 10,000 patients. And the serial number kind of thing we call it technically index here. In Python, we call it index, and index in Python always starts from 0. You can consider it more like a serial number for your observations. So starting from 0 to 9999 is your index value for the observations, for the row wise observations. Then it states that there are 14 different columns of your data. You can observe them right here. There are 14 different columns. And then it displays names of those individual columns with their index value. This hash represents here the index value of your columns. And this side, you can see the data type of every column. It shows a mixture, integer, float, and object. Integer and float, all of you might be aware of. Integer are more like whole numbers you will have in your data, and float is with decimal point values you will have. Object entries are alphabetical sequences that you can observe something like this. These are all object entries. You can see male, female, employed, student, these kind of details. They appear like object entries in your data. So currently our data is a mixture of all these data type, and this is the initial format we are getting. Whenever you are getting patient information from certain source, it is generally mixture of these data. Like you may have some profile informations about patients, like their background details, maybe their age, etc. Those are general parameters you can capture. At the same time, you will have information about their vitals or test reports, etc. That may be generally in purely number form. So variety of variable mixtures are possible in healthcare domain. That is why I have taken a sample data that contains almost all types of variables together, so that we can analyze them one by one. Let me know if you can understand the factor up to this. Then I'll move to the next step for doing feature transformations one by one now. Okay, great. So now we will move to the next step here, and I'll write here the task, that is feature transformations we will do, and I'll make this a highlighted portion. So in feature transformation now, the very first task I'm doing here, for example, convert binary categorical to numerical, for example. Just first hypothetical condition I'm taking here. For instance, I'll pick up some of my features, like for example, I'll first consider these two: mental health history and seeks treatment. These two variables I'll take. And because they are currently in a binary form in the sense yes and no, only two options are there. So we will try to encode this first. I'll show you a simple way to encode this. Sometime you get data set in raw form. There is no need to handle this manually. You have direct code available for this. For any big data set, you can transform your multiple variables like this. So let us convert this yes and no to numbers like 0 and 1. For example, yes, we will encode to 1, and no, we will encode to 0. That kind of quick analysis we can do here. So for that, first task I'll do here is I'll first create a binary map. There are multiple ways to do things in Python. I'm showing you just few examples that we can handle in the available time. Otherwise, there are unlimited ways to do same task. Those who might have attended our previous workshop also, they might have heard that how Python works in different formats. They might have heard about dictionaries, lists, tuples, etc. The similar kind of things I'm using here now. That knowledge only we are using here. So if anyone can recognize this kind of curly brackets, we generally use to represent dictionaries. And in this dictionary, I'm passing two variables representing yes as 1 and representing no as 0. So these two entries I'm making here. So this binary map I have created. Now I can transform my variable. Like first variable I'll be transforming is mental health history. So I'll write here this variable only and I'll map it to binary map. This will help me to transform this mental health history variable, and the same approach I can follow for other variable also now. Like for instance, we had seeks treatment variable. So here also I'll pass this one, seeks treatment variable. We can choose from the list this one, and here also I'll add map to binary map. So what we are doing is simply yes and no we are trying to replace with 0 and 1. I'll run this portion and I'll show you the updated version also. We can use this head every time to see the updated version. Now you can see these columns. They were earlier in yes and no form. Now they are in the form of 1 and 0. So a quick encoding we can do so that there are no mistakes. We can just handle it quickly with Python code itself. So I'm writing here this section of code, transform variables, and the very first variable I'm using is convert binary categorical to numerical. And the code for this I have inserted. After this, you can check data head also. Execute this and let me know if you are able to transform these two variables. I'll wait for responses in the chat box if you are able to execute and understand this. If I need to repeat any part, then also you can let me know. Okay, great. Let me know if others are also able to do this. Okay, great. So I'm putting here a second step. I'll just create a sleep quality index. Another hypothetical considerations we are doing, you can change variables based on your case study later on, like depending upon what objectives you plan to achieve. We are just getting a tentative idea what are the possibilities here. For instance, currently you might have observed here that we are having information on sleep hours. like for how many hours people are able to sleep, which is like a very important factor to understand whether a person is suffering from certain mental health problem or not. So based on this, we can have like a tentative summary quickly, whether the person is in following a good sleep quality or not from sleep hours itself. So we can generate a new variable from these numbers. Sometimes you need to do this type of analysis, like you have something in the form of numbers that could be sleep hours or maybe any other parameter that you are considering from the patients, like for how many hours they do walk every day, for how many hours they are able to do exercise every day. So for that kind of thing also you may have this kind of analysis. So you are just observing the quality out of this range. So what we can do is we can create considering your expertise in your domain, you may be aware that for a patient or for a person, how much sleep is good, how much can be ranked as poor or bad. So those categories you can create easily. So here also, first we will try to observe, like a simple layman, first we will try to see what range we have in this particular data. Like I can put here data, and then sleep hours is my variable that I'm trying to analyze. So let us see what are the minimum values available in my data for this and what are the maximum values available for this. So I'll just run, and it shows that some people at minimum they are able to sleep for 3 hours, and some people are even able to sleep for 10 hours. So these are two ranks we can have. Now within this range I can adjust my sleep quality level. So based on your medical expertise, you can put some filters based on that. Like this one I'll put as good and this one as bad. So maybe we are setting up a quick criteria here. I'll call it a new variable as sleep quality variable, a new variable I'm creating. Observe here, before equal to itself, I'm writing a new variable. This variable is not already available in my data. So I'm creating a new variable by using information from an existing variable. And with this, what I'll write here is, I'll try to put pd.cut, again, taking help from pandas itself. So I'm writing here pandas, and I'm just cutting some portions from my data in available data set, and that is from sleep hours variable, from this particular variable. And inside this, the bins I'll pass, and those bins can be 0 to 5 to 7 to 9 and 12. You can have different bins also. What I'm doing, first let me explain what I'm trying to do. Like I'm creating 4 different ranks. You can create 2 ranks, you can create 3 ranks depending upon your requirement. So what we will do, sleep between 0 to 5 hours, that we will put in one criteria. So it will take sleep from greater than 0 to 5, maybe. You can have different bin size also. So I'll rank that as poor. So I'll mark here some labels that will be poor label, for example, for the first case. Similarly, I'll put here average. That will be from, if the sleep is from 5 to 7 hours. That will include 6 and 7 basically, not 5, because 5 is already included in the lower bin. So the bin always starts from one higher than the starting value, and it includes the last value. So 6 and 7 will be included in average. Then 7 to 9, maybe I'll call this good. So third rank I'm creating, and then fourth rank I'm creating, maybe excellent. This variable type or name of the variable will change depending upon your domain expertise basically. So you can, currently we are using just 4 hypothetical conditions that based on sleep quality, I'll rank it something like this. So I'll just run this portion and I'll share this soon. First, let me just show you what we will have after running this. So if I run this portion, observe. Now, by the end of my data, I'll have a new variable, this sleep quality variable that I created just recently. And now I have those ranks here. They are in comparison to the sleep hours we were having here, like 6.2 falls in average now. So that we can see from the bin also here. So 6.2 was inside this, so that is coming into the average class. So in this way, Python allows us some easy ways to create even new variables from the existing data. So I'm writing here the second case, that is sleep quality variable creation we are doing, and three-step approach for this we are following. First, we are judging the upper and lower boundaries of the available variable. Then we are adjusting our labels for the quality of sleep. And then with data head, you can see if your new variable is created or not. Run these three portions and let me know if it is clear that what we are doing here and if you are able to execute it well. I'll wait for responses when you are done with it. Okay, so the bins that we are creating here, for instance, these different set of bins that I have updated. The different set of bins that we are updating here one by one, that includes a range from 0 to 5, 5 to 7, 7 to 9, and 9 to 12. So the idea here is that we are putting this into different ranges only. That is, for instance, if I put it here, so first range that I'm putting poor, that will include sleep quality 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, and 5 hour. This will be my bin 1. So I'm marking it as poor sleep quality. Then I'm taking second bin, 5 to 7. So this will include 6 and 7 hours. So this becomes your bin 2. And I'm calling it, for example, average sleep quality. So in this way, I'm just ranking 4 different categories here. So depending upon how your data is distributed, you can create different bins considering poor, average, good sleep quality, so that you can understand how the patient is suffering right now, whether the patient is having some mental health issues or not, whether he is getting good sleep quality or not. So this will be a quick analysis point for you if you are considering it based on the sleep. So then after this, like the pointers that you have given, based on as your medical expertise, you may say that if a person is sleeping more, then also there may be some mental health problems. If he is sleeping less, then also there may be mental health problem. So you can consider this sequence for that. Let me know if it is clear now.
Ma'am, here bin means category. Am I right?
Yes, you can call that.
Right.
Okay, that's great. So we'll move to one step further now. Like for instance, in the similar manner, maybe you want to analyze certain other activity level. Now I can give it like a task also to all of you, so that you can clearly understand this point. Like I have analyzed here sleep quality. Now maybe we will analyze physical activity level. Like you can see one parameter here, this one, physical activity days we have. So maybe we want to see that whether a person is having good physical activity or maybe moderate or high, so that range again we can create. So for this you can now add some filters here. For example, I'll write the task here. uh, just a minute, I'll just put it by the end. So here I'm putting the task, that is to physical activity level we will try to create. For this, the same three-step approach you can follow. First, you will check the minimum maximum range. You will come to know that it starts from certain value and ends at certain value. Then you can create bins for that. You can even use negative start point. That is also possible. Like if your activity level start from 0 maybe, then your first pointer can be -1, because as I told you that bin starts from greater than last element. So in order to include 0, then you may have to start from -1 as your bin. So try to create like 4 levels. The task is to create 4 level. I'll call them maybe first level, then low, and then moderate, and then high. Try to create 4 bins for your physical activity level, and then we will check ahead of that. We'll create a new variable based on that. Try this, and you can share your code in the chat box. Take your time. Even if you are not able to understand what is going on, just give it a try. Then I'll explain. If you do anything wrong, I'm here to help you. Just take this as an practice task only. I'll wait for your responses in the chat box. Let me know if anyone can execute this part. You can do this by using this variable. This will be your input variable, physical activity days.
When we take that number of physical days and I
Mm-hmm.
fix it the place where Flee paths were there. Nothing is coming. It's showing us error. What is the mistake I'm making?
Okay. So you are using this same thing?
Yeah. But I replaced it with number of physical days.
This one you have replaced?
Yes. No, not this one. Minimum and maximum, which you had given, Nama. First, I'm not able to
This one.
identify minimum. Yeah.
So what error you are getting with this?
I put it and replaced it. It's showing it as error. It is
Okay.
saying,
Let me just show you this thing you are doing. I'm just putting it here. And we will just replace it with this name. I'm just copying this as it is. And I'll just replace this entire thing here. We will ensure that it is inside inverted commas. And here also I'll replace this exact thing I'm doing. And observe, this should be the outcome
okay.
quickly.
But for me, the thing is coming as error. Okay, I'll do it again.
You make sure you do not have any unwanted spaces anywhere.
Okay. Yes, I cleared one unwanted space, then it's fine.
Okay, fine. So now you can go to step 2. That will be this one. Here you will add name of your new variable, and this will be your input variable that you are trying to change, physical activity days. So here you have to name any of your variable of your choice, like physical activity level can be your variable name. Then bins type also you may have to change based on this minimum and maximum. I can see some responses in the chat box. They are looking fine. Others also can execute first, and then we will try to recheck here it on execution. Yes, you will get nan for 0 because I told you that I just clearly mentioned this reason earlier. I told you that this bin always starts from 1 higher than the starting value. I told you that when it is 0 to 5, it will start from 1. That is why I give you hint in the beginning that if you have to include 0, then your start point should be -1 in that case. Then only 0 will be included because it will take next value. So when you are starting from 0, it will not include 0 and you will get nan for that 0. So accordingly, that is why we are checking this min max value first. Based on that only we are creating bins. For the safer point, we put some extended boundaries on both sides so that it covers all the values well. You need not to have nan in your bins. That is wrong. You cannot have nan in your bins. Nan is not part of your data. That is the error you are getting. Nan value is a missing value in your data. You don't have any missing value in your data right now. Observe here carefully what I'm doing. I'm just taking this sequence. This is a very simple thing you have to do. The previous code only I'm taking. I'll modify it slowly. Observe, this was your existing code. Now I'll try to modify it. So I'll put here a new variable first of all, that is, for example, activity level or activity score, whatever name you want to give it. I'm giving it name activity level. And now I need to pick variable on which I'm doing my operation. That is your physical activity days. So here I just have to replace it. Physical activity days, that you all are doing fine. Now, bin size you are not able to define right. I told you that we need bin for 4 levels. These 4 levels we need to pass, and we already know that the start and end point is 0 and 7. So the start bin value should be placed something like 0 is included in that. So for example, I'll start from -1 so that 0 gets included, and I'll take it from -1 to 1, for example, so that 0 and 1 both gets included in it. Then I'll make 1 to 3, then I'll make 3 to 5, then I'll make 5 to 8, although we can make it up to 7 also, then also it will be fine, because end point is included but start point is not included. That we need to keep in mind. So if it starts from 0, 1 less than that should be your start point. And here 8 just for the safe margin I'm keeping, otherwise you can take it up to 7 only. So this prepares your 4 different bins. One bin is from -1 to 1, second bin is from 1 to 3, third bin is from 3 to 5, and last bin is 5 to 8. So this we will rename now based on the entries that I have given, like these 4 entries I can mark here. And we will ensure that these are well spaced with inverted commas. So I'll add inverted commas for each one of these, and this should be fine. Now we have adjusted labels of our this variable, and I'm getting the green tick, you can observe. And then again I can check my data head, and it should create a new variable right here by the end. You can see activity level, low, moderate, serenity, or all those entries we are having now. Let me know if this is clear. I'm sharing this portion also here. Let me know if you are all good up to this. I hope others are also able to do this. So I'm putting here one more variable now. For example, psychological burden score I'm creating. There may be different conditions that based on your domain expertise you may take in this. But for just a quick analysis, what I'm doing is I'll just observe my variables that can contribute to a psychological burden. For example, I'll pick up from here, I'll just observe two are these. For example, depression score and anxiety score I'll consider for psychological burden. And one more I can take is, for example, maybe stress level, maybe this one also. You can have variable combinations based on your choice. Maybe currently, since we have specific values, numbers available for these three, stress level I'll consider, anxiety score and depression score I'll consider. You can consider only two variable also, that is your choice. So what we will do here, I'll take a sum of these three variables to identify psychological burden score on the patient. And for that, I'll combine For example, I'll create one new variable here, that is psychological burden variable. You can rename your variables as per your choice. Then here I'll pass, for example, first entry is for your depression score, this one. I'll add it further with the second entry, that is your anxiety score. Make sure that you follow a case sensitive approach, because in Python, the syntax are always case sensitive. So the way your variables are mentioned in your original data file, in the same pattern, you have to use them. So I'm mentioning here, for example, 3 different categories that will contribute to psychological burden on the patient. And based on this, a new variable I'm creating that will be just sum of numbers available in these 3 categories. So I'll just run this part, and again, we can check our data head. So we are just creating some new features from the existing set of features to achieve our hypothetical scenarios here. So in your case, there may be different objectives that you may consider for dealing with this. So you can see psychological burden we are getting based on these 3 inputs, and the numbers are placed here. So maybe if you want to make some decision based on this also, it will quickly help you to score things up. So I'm sharing this portion also with all of you. You can transform your variables like this. Try this, then check your data head and let me know if this is good up to the level. I'll wait for responses in the chat box.
Excuse me, ma'am. Actually, with the codes which you are making, we are able to just copy and do it. But
Mm-hmm.
how do I make the codes on my own? Is there any way of understanding it easily, ma'am?
Ma'am, that you will not be able to do on first session itself. This is based on
Oh,
practice that you do on Python programming.
okay.
Yeah, as much as you do practice, you will understand what is general flow of these variables.
Okay, ma'am. In SPSS, we have the syntax. Is it similar to that?
Yes, yes, we are using syntax only. These are syntax only that we are using.
Right. Okay.
Yes. Okay, so I believe that all of you are good up to this level. Now, observe here that in this particular variable creation, I have just given equal weightage to all of them. Like we have just summed up scores from each category here. But there may be some variables where you want to weight some categories based on your domain expertise. Like I'll be creating one more sample further. I'll add here one more variable sequence, that is to check social well-being index of certain patient maybe. So for this, maybe you want to add weightage to different categories. Like I'll consider 1 or 2 variables from here. Maybe that can be, okay, these 2 variables I'll take. social support score and productivity score, for example. But I'll not give equal weightage to both of them, for example. That may be based on your objective, that or your domain expertise, that how much you consider one as an important thing or other. Like for instance, when you are making decision about certain patient's mental health condition, you may give higher weightage to maybe his sleep quality, and one lesser weightage maybe to his exercise routines. So that kind of weightage you can generally give when you are making certain decision. So here I'm giving you that kind of example only. Like in one case I'm giving equal weightage to all of these and I'm just summing them up. But if you want to add a separate weightage to the variables, that also we can do easily. For instance, I'm writing here social well-being as my new variable, and inside this I'm passing my two set of input variables that I told you. One is your social support score, and second variable I'm taking is your productivity score. So this one I'll take. Now, instead of summing them up directly, I'll add a weightage parameter, and that will be, for example, multiplied by 0.6 in first case and multiplied by 0.4 in second case. So I'm adding 60% weightage to this and 40% weightage to this to estimate social well-being. So you can set up your formulas accordingly based on how much importance you want to give to one variable or other. You can put up your formulas directly. So I'll just run this parameter and I can just check my data head again to verify if this new variable exists or not. And you can observe this by the end of your screen again. You can see social well-being parameter created with these values here. So in this way, creating new features from existing features gets pretty simple for decision making in Python. That is why Python is being popularly used for decision support right now. You can handle features quickly by utilizing different types of combinations or weightage parameters, and quickly it can help you in decision making. So I'm writing here creating social well-being index, and the code associated to that I have updated here. Execute this and let me know. And this thing you can observe, this is like a simple mathematical combination we are making. Make sure you just choose your first data variable, that is by using these square brackets whenever you have to choose a data variable. So you just call name of your file in which you have stored your data, then call name of specific variable. This is the method to call specific variable name with square bracket and inverted commas to put your variable name, and star you can use for multiplication. Then this is your weightage parameter. This is simple mathematics, then sum, and then similarly second variable and its weightage parameter. So accordingly you can justify your own mathematical formulas based on how you want to give weightage to one or other. Try this and let me know if it is clear.
And can I clarify something? So when
Yes,
we are
please.
adding up scores, if there are some missing data, already
Hmm.
there are around 10,000 data. So how do I know there are some scores which are missing?
Okay, let me just show you quickly. If I go up, observe here. Maybe
Uh,
I missed to explain this part. Observe this intermediate value. We have a non-null count here. In
okay.
Python, we call null values as missing values. If in your data you have missing values anywhere, that will be listed here itself. But currently, you can observe that total number of entries expected in my data are 10,000. And in each one of these, I have 10,000 value. That means there are no missing values right now in my data. But maybe in some future case studies, I'll try to take some data sets that have missing values also. And there we will see how we can treat first those missing values. After that only we apply remaining operations on the data.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So I hope all of you are good up to this. Now, since we have limited time available, I'll not interact with individual variables for now. I'll show you one step that can handle multiple variables altogether. And for that, I'm writing here encoding categorical variables. Just a technique to encode multiple variables altogether. Like we have already seen in our data that currently many of these variables are available in alphabetical form, like object entries that we were calling earlier. And you can see that at different levels in this starting point also. There are few variables that are available in alphabetical sequence. So when we have discussed, like on the first day also, when Ashok sir have shown you some CSV file, at that time also he said that you should write things in the form of numbers because they are easier to analyze, and to do statistical operations also you need some kind of numbers. Some quantitative information basically is more useful for decision making. So in Python also, whenever we are deploying some kind of machine learning model, it is generally recommended that better to have data in the form of numbers instead of alphabetical sequences. So we have some approaches already available in Python environment that can help you to encode these variables in one go instead of encoding one by one separately. Like one technique I have already shown you on the top, that was simple bin operation, like a map created with specific names. But sometimes you have a very large number of classes available and you cannot do this manual coding every time. So we can do direct coding also sometime. For that, there are plenty of encoders already available in Python environment. You will find a range of encoding operations. Like I'll give you just a quick idea about different types of encoders available. That definitely you can explore later. You will not be able to understand it right now. I'm taking you to an official platform. Observe, in order to learn Python, there is no need to go with different like tutorials or YouTube videos, etc. When you have understood the basic concept, like you have attended this workshop, you have understood the basic concept, then for further references you can always go to the official website. For everything existing in Python libraries, there is a dedicated website terminal for that. For example, when we are talking about encoders that can help you to convert your alphabetical sequences into numbers, there is a specific page for that. And how you can search that? You just have to type encoders and name of library in which they exist. So name of library you will come to know with practice. When we will do 2 3 case studies, you will understand that okay, these are the popular libraries from where I can find something. So like in sklearn library that we'll be using further, you can find encoders easily. And then instead of going to different pages, you just go to official website of sklearn and you just click on this, and here you will find the long list of encoders. These are a long list of encoders involved. Currently we cannot implement all of them, and of course we cannot discuss all of them also in detail, but yes, you have an option here and they will provide you a quick detail about each one of these encoders. Here you can just observe it further, that what are the possibilities with them. Currently, for a quick understanding, I'll just use one of the encoders available in this list so that you can at least understand how this helps to convert one form of variable to other form. So for that, I'll use here, for example, from sklearn dot pre-processing module. As I told you that this is another library. In the beginning, I have loaded some libraries. These libraries are not available by default on your platform, so you need to import them first. There are some libraries that are available by default. You can use them without importing also. So sklearn is one such library that is available by default. So I can use that directly here. So now I'm entering into the sklearn library and I'm going to a specific section in that, that is a pre-processing section. And inside this, I'm importing label encoder, for example. Label encoder is one of the popularly used encoder while dealing with categorical variable. It will just analyze your feature variable with reference to the target labels, and accordingly it will give them adequate coding sequence like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, depending upon how many classes are available and how they are linked with the target variable. So this does automatic inherent analysis between target variable and your feature. So how a certain variable, like maybe this gender or maybe employment status, is related to your target variable, that was your mental health risk, high, low, moderate, it will just establish and link that how the employed people may be in the higher, low, or moderate category. So accordingly, if they are on the beginning stage, it will assign it as 0, it will assign it as 1, it will assign it as 2. Accordingly, it will give labels. So accordingly, there are many other techniques also. It is not like only this technique you can follow. As I told you, there are many different types of encoders. Some of those encoders will give priority based on first come first serve. Some of them will take the mode of all the observations, like the higher count it will encode first, lower count it will give second ranking. There are many different options. So currently just one of them we are implementing with label encoder. And how we can do that? Whenever I'm getting this kind of method from a certain sklearn repository, first we have to initialize it with default parameters. Whenever we put empty brackets in front of a function, that means we are using it in with default parameters. We are not passing any new parameters into this. So default parameters are generally good for a beginner easily. You need not to mess with the functions. You can just use it as it is and it will do its task. So what I'll do here, first I'll just highlight all my categorical columns that I want to manipulate right now. So if I check the list, I have one is my gender column. Similarly, I have these two columns also that I can change. I'll just list out all my columns. Again, there are many other ways also to deal with it. I'm just showing you one quick option that you can try for quick conversion in your variables. So this one also I can modify. Then I'll go to the next level. For example, these three also I can modify. So I'll put them in the list here. Will ensure that they are within inverted commas, because this is the way to address variables in your Python platform. I'm just organizing them in different lines for easy readability. So maybe these 6 columns, if you have more in your data, you can put them also. But currently, maybe for these 6 columns, we are trying to encode them. So what I'll do is I'll just execute a for loop in this sequence, and we will write here categorical columns. And for each column that comes in this list, what we will do is I'll encode them. I'll write here fit underscore transform, and this fit underscore transform will transform all the columns by using label encoding process, because encoder is inside this variable that I have used here, and I'm fitting my data columns by using this directly. After this, I can check my data head. Observe here few important things. Those who might have attended our previous workshop of basics of Python, they might be aware about it. But for those who are doing it for the first time, here I'm using a for loop sequence. And after this, the section I'm writing here, data calls, this is slightly ahead of the for level. Observe, we call this indentation. If this is not ahead of the original point, you will get an error, because this portion will be executed as long as this for loop is working. And then this data head, this is again on the same level as that of for. So you have to write it in same pattern. If you write it like this, then it will become part of for sequence. But we don't want to make it a part of for sequence. We want to make it as a normal level code, so that it gets automatically executed after the for loop ends. So this for loop currently will have 6 iterations, because there are 6 columns to go through. So one by one, it will go through these column names. The variable will be modified or transformed, and ultimately we can see the updated data head by the end. So I'll just run this portion and observe all those variables now got converted into numbers. Now there is no variable available in categorical form or alphabetical sequence. All of them are quickly available in the form of number. You can compare quickly with the previous version. So in this way, multiple variables you can handle altogether. There are other ways also to do this that we will discuss further in coming days of the workshop. Some other easier ways also I'll tell you. Just one technique I have told you right now, and I'm writing here, encoding categorical variables. All of you can implement this and let me know if you are getting this clean version of data. If I need to explain any part again, then also you can let me know.
I have a query, ma'am.
Yes,
Actually,
please.
it should be based on our questionnaire, right? The coding
Right,
what we.
right,
So
right,
how
definitely.
this Python knows about it?
How Python knows about this? Okay, I gave that reason right in the beginning to you, is that there are multiple ways to handle this. There are so many different types of encoders that you have, and each one of them have a different functionality. Like for example, there is one popular one hot encoder. This gives you a new style ranking. I'll just show that in a whiteboard quickly for an easy understanding. Each encoder works in a different manner. You cannot say that each one of them are similar. You just choose based on your requirement. Otherwise, you create bins of your choice, like that we have done already. Bins of your choice also you can create. But currently, what we are doing, like for example, I can take the most easiest to understand, that is your one hot encoder. So when you try to deploy this encoder, it will first observe how many ranks you have in your a certain variable. Like for example, I have gender column, and in that we have entries as male and female. So you may have different types of observations that are counted on this. When we apply one hot encoder on this particular variable, maybe I'm trying to apply, what it will do automatically, it will first observe how many distinct classes we have. So it will identify that okay, two distinct classes are available in my variable. It finds male and female as two unique classes available. Now based on this, it will create two new variables. One will be gender male, and other variable it will create is gender female. It creates two different columns out of existing variable, and then it will do encoding something like, wherever male is available it will write 1, it will write 0. Then wherever female is available it will write 0, this one will be 1. So this way it will encode your entire sheet. So how many classes you have, based on that new set of variables will be created. So maybe if in your existing data you were having total 9 variable, now you transformed gender variable, so instead of 10 that will be instead of being 9 only, that will be now 10 variables, because one male variable this one and one female variable, so one extended variable it will be creating. Now you may have one higher than the existing number of variables. Similarly, you can have few other types of encoders also, like you can have dummy encoding also available. In that case also, instead of having individual classes for both, like here I'm creating two different variables, in that dummy encoding what it will do, it will just identify male and female categories, and here only it will encode. So it will create another maybe gender variable, and in this 10110 it will encode. So there are different operations. Similarly, sometimes we have target encoding, in which what we do is we will send your one, we will first check what is the observation in target variable, and here we will check maybe like heart rate or maybe any other parameter you have, uh, or heart rate risk maybe parameter we are having. So here maybe you are writing high, low, moderate, something like this. And then in target, based on the person is suffering from heart disease or not, it may be yes and no, this kind of variables you may have. So in case of target encoding, what it will do, it will first map how heart rate risk is associated to target. Maybe if it observes that when the person is having higher heart rate, that is more commonly linked with yes case. So it will categorize variable based on that, that I'll give higher priority to this one because this is the higher risk factor. So maybe in that case, it will consider it as 0. Then maybe moderate it is considering secondary linking with the target decision, so it will give it 1, and low it will give as 2. So there are different possibilities for the coding, because these techniques are statistically tested and already deployed by researchers on variety of data sets, so they are proven for their effect in different data handling approaches. However, whenever some domain experts are involved in study, we always recommend that you do a secondary verification based on the recommendations of the domain expert. So in that case, just being relied on the statistical observations of these already tested techniques, you can take consideration from the domain expert also. So either you create your variable yourself, you encode them manually by using bins, something like this that I have already shown, that example I have already given. Like you create a bin something like yes and no that we have created in the beginning, something like this. So you decide yourself that I'll code this one as 0 and I'll code this one as 1. Otherwise, you use these already trusted statistical approaches that are tested in literature. So accordingly, that I'm showing you both options here.
Okay, ma'am. Clear, ma'am. Actually, for the dummy way of doing it is it same as for binary logistic regression? We need to create dummy variables. Is that the same
Yes,
thing?
there are different options. Yes, that
Yeah,
we can try for this. Yes.
I get it.
Okay, so I hope for others also up to this it is clear. Are you all able to execute it up to this? Okay, so since we are already on the verge of session, I'll not take it further, because if I try to write again a lengthy code, that will extend our session further. Definitely, we will have so many new things to discuss further in upcoming sessions also. But I'll just close it here for now. And if we have anything to discuss up to this level, you can let me know. Any queries or anything. All these columns are changed to 0, 1, 2. Yes, depending upon how many classes you have. If there are 3 classes in certain variable, there may be 0, 1, 2. If there are 2 classes, there will be 0, 1, and so on, depending upon how the distribution is going in your categorical variable. Let me know if we have any other query. The house is open for any kind of discussions. Yes, right now you all are doing copy paste only, but of course there is a lot that you need to do in practice. Although in upcoming sessions also we will do a lot of practice with different types of data sets. Daily I'll be sharing a different data set to all of you, and accordingly you will be setting it up. Can we specify that female gender should be only be coded as 1 or male as 0? This is not essential always. See, there are different encoding approaches for this, and generally, like in many encoding approaches, it will first consider mode, which one is popularly available, that it will consider as first priority. Like maybe in your case, if your gender variable has a mode of male, maybe it considers that male are in higher ranking in your data, then it will code it first, it will give it first ranking, that will be 0, and automatically the second mode is your female, so it will give 1 ranking to that. Maybe in some other data set, if the count of female is higher than male, so in that case mode will be for the first mode will be for female, so it may code female as 0 and male as 1. So in case of label encoder, it may generally label it based on its frequency of occurrence. In some other variable, there may be different ways also. It is converted, and how we can decipher what is 0 and 1. Yes, for that there are value count options also. Like for example, you can do a trial and test before and after your variable change. That will give you a quick idea about how it may be distributed. For instance, I'll take you up to this. I'm rerunning everything up to this so that I can give you an idea. Otherwise, variables are already shifted. After this, I'm putting here maybe data as mental health risk, or risk I'll take. maybe this variable I'm taking, observe this one variable I'm taking, and I'm checking its value counts here. I'll run this. Okay, I'll add brackets by the end of this. Observe, this is my current count. So medium count, it is showing 5892. High count, it is showing this. Low count, it is showing this. This is my existing distribution in this variable. After encoding, I can check it again. I'll just copy this code. I will rerun this. And after this, now I'll place this code again. Then I can match these values. Observe the first one, 5892. This was earlier with medium. So now the code it has given is 2 to this. Then second, it has given 0. So that we can observe that this is the coding for high. And similarly, the third, low level, it has encoded as 1 over here. So depending upon what relationship it is finding with respect to your ongoing target variables, accordingly, it has updated the sequence over here. So there may be different possibilities depending upon how your variables are distributed. It may be considering different options for this. So this value counts function can quickly help you analyze how the distribution is going on and how many variables are being listed in one category and how many in other category. You can map it side by using this. What kind of data set you are willing to share with me? I'm not clear. Okay, so up to this, we have discussed plenty of things about feature, transformation, etc. It is about survival prediction outcome of BMT patients. So what do you expect from my side on this? First, please let me know what you are looking forward to. Last code is not working. Which one? Encoding code or the value counts code? I shared two codes by the end. One was just for discussion, value counts code, and one was the encoding, the larger code that I have shared. What error you are getting for that, then also let me know.
The one which we did multiple variables, no, that code.
Okay. So what error you are getting for that?
It is showing us name error or something it is saying.
Okay, can you
I
share your
copied
screen,
yourself.
please?
Yes.
Can you share your screen?
Yeah. I repeatedly did 2, 3 times. It is showing us name error or something like that.
Okay, just a minute. Just scroll up. Up. I need to see the code above this. Okay, just stop. Yeah, you have not pasted complete code, ma'am. This is missing code. Observe the code that I have shared that includes multiple proportions. First is your from sklearn.preprocessing import label encoder. Then we are initializing encoder is equal to label encoder brackets. That part is
Okay.
most important. You are missing that one.
Okay. I get it.
Okay. So in coming days of this workshop, we'll be conducting some regression and classification analysis separately, and then we'll move to the time series analysis also. For research, you are using some data, then definitely the tomorrow and day after tomorrow's case studies will help you to understand that. But if you have any specific queries about your data set, you can post that in your WhatsApp group also. I can help you over there also if any specific queries about your data set you are having. But I hope the tomorrow and day after tomorrow's case study will guide you better on how you can deal with this survival prediction outcome. That may guide you about entire processes that you may have to follow. But yes, I'm here to help you if any specific query you have to execute this data set also.
How do we save the thing which we have done till?
This is if you have already logged into your Gmail account, this must be saved in your drive automatically.
Okay. Okay.
You can just, for safety, you can just press on your Control S. It will be saved with that also. But it by default it keeps on saving it on your backend. In your drive, you can find it automatically.
Thank you.
Okay. Let me know if anyone have any other queries. Okay, great. If no queries, we'll meet tomorrow again at 6 itself. We will try to start on time so that we can finish case study within available time. And of course, in the same pattern, we will have discussion side by side tomorrow's session also. I'll be sharing one more data set tomorrow. On a different data set, we will be doing analysis tomorrow. So that will give you more options to practice and more options to learn with variety of data sets itself. And definitely, whatever you have learned in yesterday's session about regression modeling and classification modeling, based on that, some case study we will try to deploy. So you will just connect to those factors over there also, that how whatever you have learned in theory, how we deploy that in Python. So that will guide you further on the real time deployment of your AI in healthcare domain. So thank you very much for your active involvement in today's session. If you still have any queries further, you can post anytime in our WhatsApp group. I'll try to help you as soon as possible. When you do practice, if you get any problem, you can post that in your WhatsApp group. I'll be there to help. And we'll meet again tomorrow. Thank you very much for your patient listening today.